Hello, my name is Leila Latham, and today I'm going to be presenting my poster on the development of seeking social information from objects. So to start us off, growing up, we are constantly surrounded by human-made objects or artifacts. These objects can be used as sources of social information. So the objects we interact with can reflect who we are, and therefore they can act as social cues that display who we are to others. So to be able to detect these kind of social cues, we have to be able to actively seek information, which is our ability to determine which objects hold meaningful information and discount the ones that don't. So we're asking, how do people seek social information from objects? And we hypothesize that people use inverse decision making. This includes an ability to consider constraints. So inverse decision making is our ability to infer other people's mental states based off of their actions. So in the case of objects, let's say if you look at this little chart here, if you choose an object, if we go to the left, you can then infer that that person prefers that object over the rest. And based on the details of the object, we can infer very, very rich social information about that person, about their traits, who they are, their interests, etc. However, alternatively speaking, if it is a constrained action, let's say there's a limitation in the environment, we can no longer make these kind of ample social inferences about others if it's a constrained action. So we predict that people view less constrained choices with objects as more informative than heavily constrained choices. So for our first experiment, we recruited 56 adults. We tested them over Qualtrics, and they were tasked with getting to know the most they can about new people. So they were shown a hidden agent and two sets of objects. The first set of objects is a set of 10, our unconstrained condition, and a subset of 2 objects are more constrained condition. The objects were a combination of backpacks and water bottles. And then participants were asked, which set would you like the agent to select something from? Keeping in mind they had to get to know the most they can about the agent. So we found that overall participants chose the set of 10, the unconstrained condition, 78% of the time. And a binomial test confirmed that participants chose this set at rates greater than chance. So this means that our prediction was correct, that people view less constrained choices, the set of 10, with objects as more informative than heavily constrained ones. Right now, we're in the process of conducting experiment 2. We're expanding on experiment 1 by asking what kinds of social inferences do people make from constrained and unconstrained choice spaces. So experiment 2 is almost exactly the same as experiment 1. However, participants were either shown the set of 10 or the set of 2. So it was a between subject study. And from the set of objects, they were shown an actual choice that was made from the set of 10 or the set of 2. So they were shown what the agent chose. From observing this choice with an object, they were made to respond in 3 forced responses and describe what this tells them about the agent based off of that action. Preliminary findings show that participants who were shown a choice in the set of 10, they're making ample social inferences about the agent, both ample and abstract inferences. They're inferring the agent's gender, age, their interests, and their personality. However, in the set of 2, social inferences are a lot more limited. Participants are less likely to come up with 3 responses. Instead, it's usually like 2. And their inferences are not very broad. They're very specific and surface level. So in conclusion, we conclude that people view objects selected from a less constrained choice space as more socially informative. These findings support previous findings from our lab, and it suggests that people use inverse decision making to reason about the social informativity of objects. And in future work, we hope to translate experiment 1 and experiment 2 into a developmental study, and we expect to see this ability to improve with age. Thank you so much.